Hi there, and welcome to my garage. I'm about to change the struts in my 1999 Honda Odyssey. And I thought, sometimes I like going on YouTube and just seeing someone else do it, just to see what I'm getting into and if I want to do the job. And I've never done the struts on an Odyssey before, but I've done it on other vehicles. And so I thought, I'll make a video, and if anyone else cares to look at me do it and see how I've done it, it might help you. Also, I'm not a mechanic. I'm just a guy in my garage and trying to save a buck and just do this job that's fairly easy. I've done struts, and I've even compressed the springs and changed the actual strut inside the assembly. I'm not even doing that today. It's even easier. I'll show you what I got. I went and I bought the whole assembly from the parts store. And I did my work to find out, first of all, I needed new springs because the springs in my van, one of them had broken right on the very bottom part, so it's good to replace those right away. And so I needed a spring, and the struts were bad. They were clunky and bangy. So I was starting to price out the spring and just the strut inside, and right away it was $200 per side. Whereas I found this parts store in town that sold the whole assembly, like you see, for $186, and these are Monroe Sensatrack, guaranteed for a lifetime. So it's what it's anyone would use. It's a nice strut, and I thought, why bother compressing the spring and just doing it the normal way when I could just buy this whole assembly and start new. And so as I get into it, you can see there's not a lot that I'll need to replace or do. And just one note before you put your jack stands in, like make sure that the vehicle's stable and not going to fall down, but that you've also secured your jacks to be on the frame instead of the suspension. Sometimes people will jack up on the lower control arm or something, compressing the strut or not making it to where you can actually remove it. So the strut has to be free of any compression, and you have to make sure it's up in the air. And I'm going to do a lot of my work with air tools. I'll show you from there. Okay, so you can see I have the wheel off, and this is a close look at the bottom of the two bolts that go on the bottom of the strut itself, and they're 22 millimeter. And I am going to hit that with my my impact wrench, and so I'm just going to put a box wrench on the nut. Before I take these off, though, I just need to take this off. This is the brake line, and that's just a support there to stabilize it. And once I get that free and out of the way, and I need to do the same back here. This is the ABS mount. You can see that right there. That has a nut on the back side too that needs to come off. It's a 12 mil. It's 10 mil. Now you can see both the brake line and the ABS are free from the actual strut. Now I'm going to go ahead and take out the 22 mil bolt here. There's two of them. It's off. So that came out pretty nice. This is an impact wrench extension. They're a little softer metal actually. So, and they have a little flex to them. You can see on the head they're rounded. And the whole reason for that, as I understand it, is because the high impact, the chrome ones are harder metal and more likely to shatter. And that wouldn't be a good thing. So, now that gives me the access I need. Bolts slide out. Yep, that's free. The strut's completely free on the bottom, and we can tear and do it on the top now. So I thought I was in trouble when I cracked the hood open and saw that there was this plastic shroud right over the top of the strut tower. Then I looked closely, and you can see there's three caps right where the struts go. And I popped the caps off, and sure enough, they give me access right to each of the nuts at the top of the strut tower. So those Honda engineers are thinking one. So yeah, that's a 14 mil nut on there. Well, there's one more nut that I didn't see, and it's attached to this. It's got a bushing, so it looks like to be some kind of stabilizer / tie rod mechanism to just make it ride a little smoother and stabilize the strut movement. So this Allen is a 6mm and the box wrench is a 17mm. And okay, there it is, it's out. And I'll warn you, that was not an easy task because it was covered in road grime. It was brutal. The hardest part of the whole job by far. You can tell, see the salt residue? That white stuff is the salt they put on the roads here in Canada. Here are the two side by side. This is the old one. See right down there? That's a broken spring. It's supposed to be coiled up nicely like that and have a lot more length to the end of it. But this one snapped right at the end. And I inspected the other side. It's broken too. So they needed to come out. So I'm just going to reverse everything like I did and take a picture of it going in. Well, there it is. Brand new strut, all installed on the right side. Just know that there aren't always universal struts for each side. So this is specific, as you can tell with these tabs and things. This is a right side strut. It went in pretty good. I just warn you, watch out for that nut there on me. It was a beast. It just, with all the road grime, didn't want to come off. Everything else did what it was supposed to. And then as far as, I didn't show you what I did up here when I put those nuts down. You know, it had to drop down 5-6 inches. There's old techniques that mechanics use. You can use like that grabber tool you can use to spin on a nut, or I sometimes like to just tape on just the very edge of the nut onto the socket and then tighten her down, and then when you pull it off, the tape just stays on the socket. So there's old tricks you can use, having, you know, otherwise you're trying to fish the nut right down. So anyway, it's ready to have the wheel put back on, and I'm going to just do the other side, and good luck to you in your endeavors as you do this as well.